Hey guys, just coming in from the garage this morning. I'm a little bit bundled up. November's getting a little bit chilly up here in Canada, but reality check. I like to work from my garage. It's a little bit calmer. Got two toddlers running around inside the house. So just so you guys know, this isn't built here. My family also owns a 5,000 square foot manufacturing facility. So the whole coming in from the garage, working from the garage, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a joke. This is just where I domicile my home corporate location from. Reality check for YouTube. I'm being a little bit more authentic than my corporate self, who likes to be in a full out suit. Those of you from the corporate world know who I am. Thank you very much for supporting me through my years, but it's time that the general public knows exactly what we're doing. The pandemic kind of took me through a different course of action where I ended up being a small business advisor and a government lobbyist for a little bit of time. And I started to see exoskeletons pop up, some even being my own. Yeah, my entire project has been, how do we say it, stolen on many aspects of some of my embodiments. And I'm not wealthy enough to fight some of these giants that have taken pieces of my patent, ripped it apart, and decide to build their own exoskeleton using some of my force transmission, motorized, and single clutch linear systems. The reality is, when I say motorized, this unit on me right now is not motorized. Okay, this is the most simplified version of the technology. It is double stacked, so there is a more simplified version out there. But this is simplified in the context of no motors, no pistons. The only actuation is just coming from a cord itself, okay? We're using resistance linear line in this one. We're not using any type of threaded or high tensility line, including such as an aircraft cable. So the reality is, those resistance tremor recoil systems that are working through this shock cord, okay, you guys can see it functioning there. Those resistance recoil systems, they also work with a higher tensility cord, and they're a little bit more controlled. However, I like the hyper flexibility of this unit when I'm demoing, showcasing. It can't hold the same physical load of a heavy tensility line, but you'd be amazed at what it can hold. I'm talking almost 25 pounds. So we're dealing with a system here that can carry almost 90% of the power tools on the market, okay? Or firearms. Even if we're talking about very heavy firearms, we can still hold them. We just got to rig the system a little bit differently, right? So it's a very powerful system. And the power in the system doesn't rely on us just holding something. A lot of things out there can just hold something. We can force transfer. So we can move our arms fluidly from one side to the other, okay? Allowing us to have that equilibrium freedom that we're looking for, right? The last thing you want is to be holding, let's say, a firearm or holding a power tool. And yeah, it's hovering in front of us. That's awesome. Floating in front of us. That's awesome. Don't get me wrong. That's amazing. But what good is that floating if we don't have the ability to maneuver, to drop that load, crank that tool up to this side, grab a hammer, grab a taser, grab a club, and do what you need to do with your primary, okay? So the reality is, and I say that a lot, I do apologize, but the reality is, this suit can do it all, okay? It can do it all. How does it really work? I'm gonna show you guys that today. It's very simple. So you have a spring, okay? Can you see that on the board? Yeah, good enough. You have a pulley, okay? And a cord sifts through the pulley, back through another pulley, and back out the opposing sides. That's it, okay? So we're allowing that linear transfer to still be fluid to the opposing arm. So this isn't two cords, this is one cord, okay? Not two cords, okay? If it's two cords, we'd have to double up the entire system. Part of my patent as well, in parallel sequence. Very good for electricity charging protocols or having building a power suit that actually goes up in front of you for dual arm control systems, steering mechanisms. That's in the future. Okay, we can get there. We've already patented it. Sure, I can build it, but right now let's focus. Okay, single length of cord, sifting through pulleys on spring systems. Okay, everything can essentially be on its independent spring system. Okay, for example, the one on my back is on 2 springs. Okay, and 2 linear rails. I'm going to show you guys here. 1 linear rail on the spring. The linear rail doesn't create any actual tension unless you want it to. The linear rail is, so to speak, just a guide. Okay, it keeps everything in a uniform position, thus replicating a tenant value. And eventually we can use those, linear systems to charge power. So as we're moving, we can also charge the device if the device is to power anything else, including different types of sensory, Bluetooth, Arduino, which, by the way, we also track biometrics. Okay, we track biometrics as well, so I can independently show you the difference in the force value between the dominant and the dependent sides of the body. Okay, this is a very, very powerful tool. Very powerful. For reality check, when I say that the device has been essentially knocked off and stolen, what they've done is some of our embodiments reserve the right for this entire system to be locked in a nut, bolt, or bracket system. And we reserve the right for those systems to be motorized. Okay? So if the middle center's a motor and it's locked on a linear system, okay, and back out the opposing side, okay, what do you have there? What do you have there? And let's say that crane system, figure 11 of our embodiments, allows us to have a carabiner that holds, let's say, a power tool. And I'm sure many of you have seen that design. Okay? Divide my design in half. By the way, my patents protect me from that. Okay? Just the big corporations choose to ignore that. Imagine you see a giant, linear head over your body. Let me use an example here. Good thing being an inventor. Have you seen that big, linear systems with a pulley crane system? Interesting, isn't it? Isn't it? What happens when you take a motor, put it to the pivot? That's my utility in the end of the day. Yeah, they might have changed design elements. That's my utility. That's my utility. Check out figure 11 of my embodiments, my patent. You're a good lawyer out there, you're a crazy lawyer, want to defend the little guy? Give me a call. Anyways, moving back to target. The kinetic resistance apparatus, okay? Most people got it wrong. So even the ones who have taken pieces of my embodiments, the reality is, that's my line. I should just be the reality is guy. This is the most accurate, this is the most tangible, and this is the most freedom system that you want to create, okay? This is the system that you want to use. The full embodiment, the full claims coming through, okay? And when I say claims, I mean patentry, okay? The claims are independent values, correlated to our design elements. For those of you who don't recognize the term claims, it's just what our technology can essentially do and what makes it novel, okay? In this particular case, I can take something heavy, okay? Let's use a firearm prop, for example, and I can gravitate that item, okay? Full linear freedom at the same time. You take that clip off, okay? Watch some of my other videos. You take that clip off. Let's say you have a wounded leg. You can attach it to your leg, and you can run your leg off the field by lifting your opposing limb. Let's say you're moving through a swamp, okay? So you're moving through a swamp. Take these clips off, attach them to your legs. Clips are easy, rings are easy. Most Army soldiers already have them. And you have 2 anti-gravity legs because the one leg is controlling the other, okay? Let's say you're doing some fitness training, okay? Shadow boxing, okay? You're always getting that, essentially that tricep pull, okay? But when you're not getting that tricep pull is when you have a load variant working with you. We're approaching 10 minutes, so I'm gonna call it at that for right now. I'll make some other videos later, right? I hope that gives some of my viewers a little bit of an understanding of what we're doing. Have a great day. Enjoy, my friends. Till next time.